And we are live. What's good, Josh? Your man, DL Saint. Welcome to the Downrange Podcast. How y'all feeling? I hope all is well. I hope all is well on your end. All is well here. This is episode 2 today. Yeah, we did a I really want to know podcast earlier where we were talking about the sexual marketplace out there, reference Gen Z and millennials. It seems like 63% of the young men out there have walked away from the dating scene. Crazy. So that was a pretty good show. It was impromptu. We just jumped. I just saw that. I saw a video that I reacted to, and it's like, you know what? I got it. I got to talk about this. And today we're gonna. This was scheduled. This was already scheduled. And today I wanted to talk about what's going on in the financial sector. What's going on with America? We're gonna talk about First Republic. We're gonna talk about U.S. GDP growth. We're gonna react to a couple videos. One from George Gammon and the other from this brother, like Tax Advisory. I think it's the name of the YouTube channel. He's like a big YouTuber. I was gonna like look at a little bit of his stuff and kind of react to it. Um, Shout out to Saucecast, Valuetainment Money. Shout out to Adam Sosnick and Natalia. Uh, Shout out to Mel King. She was they're on right now, as a matter of fact. They're wrapping up their show. Looks like Mel King was down in their studio and they were filming. And again, it's two of my favorite platforms collabing. I was in the chat, I was lively in the chat, had to show them some love, even sent a little super chat, just show my support. Those are my people down there. And Fresh and Fit will be working with Valuetainment here in a couple of months. I think the end of next month. I think that's what they said. They're going to be doing an event there. I think it's did they say it was going to be live? Maybe, may even be live, which would be, if it is, it's going to be crazy. I'm definitely trying to get down there for that. So, shout out to all my people out there. Fresh and Fit, Melanie King, Valuetainment, Suzette Speaks, Black Man Unfiltered, Mandrill, like all my folks. Shout out to Brother Noble, the World Class, Brother Hink in the Basement. All my folks, y'all know who y'all are, man. If I didn't say your name, I got love for you. Forgive me. But all the people I've been rocking with and all the people that rock with me, shout out to all of y'all. Brother Doug's in the house. What's good, fam? How you feeling? Please hit that like. Yeah, let me hit the like now that you say something. I appreciate that, man. Good to see you, brother. We're about to get into this. Because again, I always say this when we start a show. I don't think this is gonna be a long one, but you never know how it's gonna turn out. Brother Pitney, Jules in the house. What's good, fam? Yes, please smash that like button on your way in. Share if you like the information. And real quick, time is running out for you people that are 30 years old and younger, or who just turned 31. The FAA, or their high-end air traffic controllers, they're doing what's called an open bid. It's off the street hire, paid training, a very challenging and rewarding career. Air traffic control. You'll be working for the Federal Aviation Administration if you make it through the training. Pay package. The pay package, I guarantee you, is rivaled only by C-suite, like suite level people, CEO types. The kind of pay you're gonna get. You're not gonna get this kind of pay package with Target or Walmart or working at your local grocery store. The time off is a union job. It's an amazing career. I did a video on this. Jay Swans and I did a video on this that gives you all information you need to apply. Time is running out. I believe the hire is on the 5th of May. So time is running out. Y'all need to get on it. usajobs.gov. Go watch the video. We tell you everything you need to know and how to prepare and what to do step by step. Go check it out. You want to level up, there's your opportunity to level up. So wanted to get that in there. I forgot to mention it earlier. I've been trying to just get people to do it. Check it out, guys. It's opportunity of a lifetime. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into this show. With all that said, looks like we did all the housekeeping. That's all done. There's a lot going on, guys. There is so much going on. I don't even know what to talk about. There's not a whole lot of talk going on with Clarence Thomas, but we know that needs to be sewn up. Sister Candace mentioned on a show a couple days ago, might have been yesterday or day before yesterday, Donald Trump is fighting a civil case of alleged grape allegations in New York. So the state of New York is going to bring that forward. That's another thing Trump has to deal with. Um, again, that's on him. Yeah, you know what I mean? He brought it all on himself. There's a lot going on with DeSantis losing support. People are kind of looking at him like, maybe you're not the leader we thought you were. You look at what's going on down here in Florida with the mortgage insurance companies and all that kind of stuff. No one's really talking about that latest flooding that was in Dade and Broward counties down there, Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Most people are under Citizens Insurance, which is the insurance of last resort in the state, last hope, last resorts in this state. It's a lot going on, people. There's a lot going on. So things aren't looking that great for DeSantis. Biden is doing Biden things. Hunter Biden is having some issues with the IRS. Apparently, he's not been paying his taxes. People are looking into that. There's a lot going on. We haven't even talked about California, the great flight from California. The streets are overrun with people with mental health challenges, drug challenges, and the homeless. I don't know how California is going to stay afloat, but that's going on as well. There's so much going on out there, guys. So we're just gonna talk about this stuff. We're gonna start with First Republic. Brother Doug, 23-year-old to case, and you said he brought on himself. DL Saint, we cutting your Mansfield car. Hey man, it is what it is. 23-year-old me too case. That's what it is. So he's saying it's a 23-year-old Me Too case. And you said he brought it on himself. DL saying we're cutting your Mansfield car. Here's the deal. I'm airborne. So when it comes to the Mano Swamp, I don't give a shit about them people, bro. If you're trying to level up, you're trying to be the best you could be, holler at me. I'll show you the way. Otherwise, stay in the basement. I got no respect for you. Stay in the basement. It is what it is. Y'all know I don't believe in participation trophies. You got to earn it over here. Secondly, I don't know anything about the case. I just know there's a couple headlines out there. That's good information to know that that's where this came from. But I did see a picture of the woman in question. I'm like, man, she looked pretty old, because they were saying that this happened in 2019, something to do with a dressing room and whatever. And Brother Doug might be right, because he gets the information, so he knows what he's talking about. If in fact this is a 23-year-old Me Too case, they should be able to shrug that off. But look what happened to Cosby. If you got the state or the government, you got the state or federal government coming at you using something like this, and if there's any kind of truth to it, or if there's any kind of proof out there, you got a problem. You got a problem. It's just one more problem that you don't want to have to deal with if you're sitting there saying, I'm trying to make a run at the White House. But I'm with you. I'm with you, Brother Doug. You know what I mean? And look, Brother Doug, he put me in the manosphere because he quit the manosphere. Just because you quit, bro, don't mean you get to put me in your slot. All right. You know what I mean? You trying to put me in your slot. You ain't slick, bro. I see what you doing. I see what you doing, man. Yeah. I'm bringing it. I'm definitely bringing it to you, bro. We got red smoke over here, bro. Yeah, get some.
Get some.
I'm ready for you. Get some. But yeah, man, it's if that's what it is, it's gonna be crazy. And wouldn't it be funny if it is a 23-year-old Me Too case? Wouldn't it be crazy if he beats every other case except that one right there? All the other stuff he beat, and then this is the one that brings him down. That will certainly make you want to put on your tinfoil hat and say, I wonder what that is. Brother Doug, red pill slant manosphere don't side with women on Me Too until proven guilty. Yeah, man. I mean, here's the thing, man. I mean, this country's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but I come from an environment where when you run from the police and people ask you, like, why did you run from the police? Because they were chasing me. I come from a world where you can't trust the police. Not all of them. The ones you saw in the hood, you knew who they were. You know what I mean? Shout out to RoboCop. There's a RoboCop in every hood. There's always that cop that everybody knows is dirty, grimy, filthy. And all the other cops protect them. So, yeah, innocent until proven guilty. We know that's supposed to be the standard, but we knew we were innocent we were guilty unless we could prove we were innocent, especially when them boys came rolling up on us. So we had to really think and stay on our toes. That's part of, growing up when I grew up in that era, especially coming out of Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Police Department was so corrupt, they still got problems to this day, bro. They had the FBI in there for like decades. trying to clean up that department, and they still got problems, bro. I want to say the FBI went in there in the late 80s, early 90s. They had the FBI in the department trying to clean it up, and they might still be there. So it's crazy, brother Doug. It may be another case coming down the line for an alleged 13-year-old at the time. Ooh, that's horrible. That's horrible. And Sister Candace was on it. She was giving details, something to do with a dressing room and stuff like that. So I'm thinking, well, if there's a dressing room involved, there's probably cameras involved. There's might be some some evidence out there, either video or still. Ooh, I tell you what, I don't want to deal with his problems. I don't want to deal with Donald Trump problems. I'm cool with mine. I don't want Donald Trump problems. So I don't know anything about it. Maybe I'll look into it next week. There's stuff out there. I was just looking at the AP Newswire. There's stuff out there, bro. And brother Doug, my thing is presidential candidates get vetted heavily before and during campaigns. Where were all those cases prior to 2016? And that was part of the allegations is the people did come forward, but the stuff got pushed to the side and swept under the rug. That's what's going on here. We'll see. We shall see. You know what I mean? And vetted heavily by the FBI. Yeah, we'll see, bro. Like we shall see, man. It's just the world has changed as we know it here in America. It is what it is. So we all know with enough money, you beating pretty much every case. With enough money and the right type of backing, Donald Trump's problem is he stepped on too many toes. It's a lot of 1%ers that don't like him. So maybe more 1%ers don't like him than do like him. So we'll see. We shall see, man. So let's get into this. I was looking at, here we go. This is Google. I just typed in First Republic just to see what's in the news, top stories. Reuters has something out there. White House monitoring situation at First Republic, could step in if needed. The San Francisco Chronicle, San Francisco's First Republic Bank on the brink of collapse. Experts say that was an hour ago. And, First Republic is based out of San Francisco. On the brink of collapse. We might read that one. Barron's First Republic Bank is running out of options. What comes next? Bloomberg, First Republic, short sellers are struggling to find stock to bet against. Wow. And Yahoo Finance, why big banks are reluctant to rescue First Republic. Again, you guys realize that the big banks came in to rescue First Republic alongside the Fed, the federal government with a backstop, the quote unquote backstop. So let's read this San Francisco Chronicle. First Republic Bank on the brink of collapse. That sounds juicy. Let's read this one. And here we go. Yeah, that might look. Let me see. Does it look? Uh-oh. There we go. Trying to get a look at this. So this is from the San Francisco Chronicle, guys. The trouble with First Republic is real. Experts say San Francisco bank teeters on brink of collapse. We might not be able to get through this for all the ads. We'll try. We'll try. I'm trying to read this. Let's see if we can make it a little bigger. So let's see. Business and tech raiders, tech workers, and conventions fled to Vegas. Well, can't seem to find the article. All right, well, looks like we can't find that article. We're gonna go back to the Yahoo one. I know we'll be able to read the Yahoo one. I'm sorry about this, guys, but it's just hard with a lot of these media platforms. They want you to pay, or they want to make it difficult for you to get the stuff. And I get it. That's a small newspaper, and they want, they need to make money. So I ain't mad at them. Looks like the S&P, the Dow, NASDAQ, the Russell, look, everybody was up today. So there's that. And this is the article here. They're going to talk about why the banks don't want to help. So why big banks are reluctant to rescue First Republic. Again, this is Yahoo Finance. Let's get into it. The nation's biggest bank provided First Republic with $30 billion in unsecured deposits at a time when the regional leader desperately needed the infusion. 6 weeks later, they are reluctant to ride to the rescue again. So you still have like the nation's biggest banks, like the top 4 banks, and some others jumped in there. Plus, I want to say that the The Federal Reserve kicked in money too, but $30 billion. And here we are 6 weeks later, and First Republic still needs help. So right off rip, this is crazy. The embattled San Francisco leader is trying to persuade JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and other giant financial institutions to help First Republic survive another crisis of confidence. One option is to purchase some of its underwater bonds at above market rates. That means big banks would absorb the losses. What would they get in exchange? Equity warrants, possibly, and the knowledge that they rehabilitated one of the country's largest regional lenders. First Republic, which primarily serves wealthy customers on the East and West Coast, was the 14th largest U.S. bank as of December 31st. A lot of these problems stem from the loans that they gave and to the people they gave these loans to. Because this is a California-based bank, right? So a lot of these problems stem from some of these loans, and a lot of these loans that they gave to these wealthy folks were interest-only loans. I was watching something today, and I was scrambling to see if I can find it to show you guys, and I couldn't find it. Hopefully, I can find it later, and then I'll show it. We'll recap it again. But they were highlighting some of the people in Southern California, which this goes all the way up to Silicon Valley and all the way down to Tijuana, all the way down to San Diego, basically. But the bigger loans were in Malibu, Beverly Hills, that area. So we're talking about people who were taking out these multi-million-dollar loans on their homes, and they were interest-only loans. So they're trying to get these things off the books. They're trying to figure out how they're gonna move these unrealized losses off their books, and this is where they need the help. So I'm not sure if First Republic is going to survive. It's kind of crazy. First Republic's advisors are arguing this deal would save the bank some money in the end. They get to keep their $30 billion in deposits while the troubled assets recover value over time. I don't know how I don't know how they're going to recover value if we slide into a recession. Now, everyone you talk to says that's where we're headed. So if we're heading to a recession, it's going to be a problem. There's no guarantee that Jerome Powell is going to lower the interest rates. So that's not going to help them. A lot of these banks, the problem is they're making a low percentage of money on one side and they're paying out a higher percentage of money on the other. So they might be making like 2% on a whole bunch of loans and stuff like that. And don't quote me, y'all. Like, I'm just trying to give you an example. They might be bringing in 2% over here, but over here they're paying out 5%. And that's what the problem is. And they're trying to balance that thing. It's like, well, how are you going to balance it? Especially now when we're going into, a recession, possibly a depression. So they might not survive this. So, I don't know how they're going to do it. What's more, the initial losses they absorb will be less than what banks might have to pay if regulators were to seize First Republic. The FDIC recoups the cost of resolving such failures via a levy charge to banks according to a formula tied to their performance. This argument, however, is not yet winning over those giant institutions. Some worry they could end up subsidizing First Republic's survival only to see it get seized by regulators and then sold to a single rival. Facts. A lot of that doesn't make financial sense, said one person who is familiar with the bank's view of the situation. So First Republic has very few options going that they're doing right now. So it's crazy. Brother Pitney, larger banks will be reluctant to rescue a distressed bank if they don't think they can turn it around or if they are unwilling to absorb the losses. And that's apparently that's what they're saying in this article right here. Brother Mandrell's in the house. What's good, fam? What up, bro? Good to see you, man. He's saying hello to everybody, just showing love. Brother Doug, technically before the current administration changed the definition, we've already been in the recession. 2 quarters of the decreasing GDP was a indication of a recession. Facts. And that happened months and months ago. I remember I was watching, I think Brother Doug and I were both watching Patrick Bet-David when they had a show on that, when it actually happened. And they were like, oh, they did change the rules. Well, that's not a real indicator of, a recession and because no one wanted to say that. And again, this is the smoke and mirrors and stuff like that, bro. This has been going on for a minute. This is how these guys look like they're so smart. They see it coming. They're like, bro, this is we've been here. We've been here. How's it going to get any better? And right now they're screaming at Jerome Powell to please lower the interest rates, lower the interest rates. I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to do it. Brother Jay Swans is in the house. What's good, fam? Invest in 9mm. Yes. Invest in 9mm. Invest in 40, 45, invest in 380, 22, 25, 357, 38 special, just to name a few. 556, 762, 12 gauge. just to be sure. That's where I'll be doing it. He's like, and solar radios, man. You got those, bro? You got them because we gonna need them. We gonna need them. But that's all right though. We know how to move, bro. We still know hands. We know hand signals, bro. We know hand signals, bro. For real, for real. And right now, this economy is at a danger crossing, y'all. That's where we are. Scrolls to the road to get past this. How are we gonna get past this? Let's see. Few options. Let's see if I can. Oh, that's the wrong button. Yeah, let me do this one. Few options. First Republic situation turned more serious Monday after it disclosed a loss of more than $100 billion in deposits. Wow. That was in March. They lost $100 billion in deposits in March. The drop was greater than expected and raised new concerns about the company's chances for survival. The company said it was considering strategic options. What are those? Boy, that's a lot of money. That is a lot. 100 billion, guys. The bank lost $100 billion in a month. And I think that was less than a 30-day period. In fact, we got a video from George Gammon. I think he talks about this. $100 billion in 1 month. And they're still around. Investors punished the stock, sending it down nearly 50% in 1 day. And then nearly 30% on Wednesday. Is that 80% down? Jeez. Briefly dragging its market value below 1 billion. On Thursdays, it rose nearly 9%. The reluctance of banks to play the role of rescuer for a second time leaves First Republic with few options. It hopes the U.S. government will help with a solution by bringing the bank to the table. Well, bringing the other banks to the table. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. A White House spokesman told reporters Thursday that the Biden administration is continuing to monitor the situation at First Republic and that it meant the administration would take action if needed. Okay, what does that mean? You're going to take action if needed. We've already done the backstop. So what are they going to do? Another backstop part 2? It's going to be another bailout, y'all, but maybe not. Maybe they'll go ahead and let this regional bank fail. And that'll be the third one, really the fourth. But that'll be the third big regional bank, right? Silicon Valley Bank already went under. Signature Bank went under, and now First Republic is about to go under, it looks like. There's an open bank pass solution here. A person familiar with First Republic's view of the situation, but it's a matter of government needing to convene to bring all the parties together to make it happen. So someone in First Republic, which is probably the CEO or one of the officers, are saying, no, we can do this if the government make these people come to the table and take this risk. That's what they're saying. If you force these other banks to cough up the money and back our play, then we can get out of this. That means you're done. That means you are done. The big banks are also waiting for the government to intervene, and some bank executives say a seizure is increasingly likely. One bank executive put the chance of government-supported bank aid solution at 30% and the FDIC receivership at 70%. It's also possible, another bank executive said, that nothing happens and First Republic meanders along as it tries to turn things around on its own. Oftentimes, the big banks are viewed as the answer, this person said, but there's only so much that we can be the answer for. You know what I mean? So these big people are like, these names, they're not missing any names, but I bet you Jamie Dimon, whatever his name is, from where is he at now? He's at Chase. I bet you all these big names, we know who they are. These people who are talking, we know who they are. Like Jerome Powell is probably one of the people. We know who they are. So yeah, they're just keeping their names out because they don't want to spook Wall Street. But everyone knows that these are the big people talking. This ain't the teller at the bank saying these things. You know what I mean? If regulators were to seize First Republic, they face the tricky question of how to treat the unsecured deposits provided by the nation's biggest banks. And that's another problem, too. First Republic, these people have way over $250,000 in their banks, in their bank deposits. So you have these people who are way over the FDIC limit. And remember, they came out and said, Janet Yellen came out and said that they were back all of the deposits to all of the banks. So she already, they said they're going to back this stuff, but how? They don't have the money to back it. First Republic has a lot of, there's a lot of deposits in there. These people out here, they're playing with, milk M's, tens of millions. You're talking about, interest only loans on houses that are over $10 million. You're talking about signature loans and stuff like that, and credit, all kind of unsecured debt. 50, 60, $70 million per individual. These are where the CEOs, like the big cats, are putting, getting their money to buy their big houses in the hills, and there's their big houses in Malibu on the ocean. So it's a lot of money. So if Janet Yellen says that the government is going to back that, and they actually cannot back that, at the same time we're dealing with this debt ceiling stuff, bro, this could be a real problem. And this is why these banks don't want to mess with it. They know how messed up the books are. And they don't know how they're going to back all those loans. Not loans. They don't have all those deposits. They don't know how they're going to do it. So, it is what it is. I see his love in the chat, Brother Penny, like, in my humble opinion, if they allow this bank to fail, it will upend consumer confidence in the banking system, and more failures could follow. Ooh, that's a good point, bro. That's a good point. Like, this could be, like, this is it. This is the tipping point. This could be the tipping point. And that, again, Janet Yellen's like, well, we said we're going to back all these deposits. And if it turns out that the government can't back these deposits, what happens? Everybody runs to the bank and take all their money out above $250,000, which is what they should have been doing anyway. Right? This is it. This is the problem. They should have been doing that anyway. Let's continue. If they agreed to protect them by designating the failure of First Republic as a systemic risk, regulators could be accused of providing a big bank bailout. If they don't, they can be accused of not providing the same support given last month to unsecured depositors at Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. So this is the problem. It's a catch-22. I'm gonna put you on mute for a second. I got to deal with some home stuff. I'm fussing at my daughter because she was supposed to call her mom a couple days ago, and she ain't. Hold on, guys. So you like, she knew exactly why I was yelling at her. I screamed at her, "Come here!" And she immediately starts telling me what she's doing and why I'm yelling at her. So that's when you know your kids are on point, man. You get to that point as parents. Like I said, it's cool, man. Having kids is like combat. It's just, most of the time you're bored, there's nothing going on, everything's running smooth, and then every now and then it's just sheer terror. Something pops off and it's just like firefight. Oh my God. So yeah, sorry you have to hear me scream. Daddy rules everything. When daddy business comes first, it doesn't matter what's going on. I don't care if the president was, I don't care if Barack was sitting here. Hold on, Barack. Let me go tighten up my daughter. He would understand, like, hey, I get it. Go ahead, handle you, bro. Go ahead. Michelle would too. So, all right, let's get back to it. I think, Brother Pitney, you're right. You're right. And you look at this. If they agree to protect them, by designating the failure of the First Republic as a systemic risk, regulators could be accused of providing a big bank bailout. This would not fly. Not the big bank bailout. People are mad at the backstop. So if they don't, they can be accused of not providing the same support given last month to unsecured depositors at Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. Ooh, stuck between a rock and a hard place, y'all. They're trying to prop up a system that just doesn't seem to work. I don't know much about nothing. Y'all know I'm a simple guy, but it seems to me that that's what's going on here. They are simply doing their best. They're trying everything they can to prop up a system that has failed. And the problem is they see the failure coming. It's like the big storm on the horizon, slowly inching its way towards you. That's how when we were in the desert during Desert Storm, we'll be in the desert. You'll look off on the horizon, and you just see nothing but brown. You couldn't see the ground or sky, it was just brown. Oh, that's a dust storm. It's coming. And you just sit there and you just wait. It gets closer and closer and closer and closer. And finally, boom, it hits you. And it's every bit as bad as you thought it would be. Especially, look, I remember the first time I encountered this dust storm thing when I was in the desert. I had just gotten in country. It'd been 3 weeks since I had my last shower. I was in Saudi Arabia. The last time I had a shower, I was in America. It's been that long. And we had portable showers set up and I just taken a shower. You got to take one shower a week. I just taken a shower and I'm looking at this brown. What is that? And everybody just shook their head and they felt so bad for me. Yeah, I got dressed and everything. See it getting closer. Dust storm hit. I was filthy. That storm hit, bro. I was filthy. I was only clean for 45 minutes. Yes, I was only clean for 45 minutes. Because it took that long for that storm to get to us. That thing was moving slow too, bro. Can't see nothing in the dust storm. It's just bad. Dirt, sand gets everywhere. It might not have been 45. Maybe it was like 30 minutes. I was clean for like 30 minutes. So mad, bro. So mad. Couldn't take a shower for a whole, 6 more days. Had to wait. Had to wait for the next week to get some water again. Couldn't take a proper shower. That's what it sounds like is going on here. All these people in the financial sector, all the people in the banking sectors, Jerome Powell at the Fed, Janet Yellen at Treasury, they see it coming. And there's nothing they can do to stop it. There's nothing they can do to fix it. It's coming. They can't stop it. They couldn't save Silicon Valley. They couldn't save Signature. Then they tried to save First Republic. Now it doesn't look like that works. So now First Republic's going to go under. It's like Brother Pitney said. It's like if we have to instill confidence. If we don't, everybody's going to go grab their money out of the banks. I mean, this could be the beginning of a new way of doing business. And in the midst of all this, they're rolling out the central bank reserve, the central bank digital currency. Wonder if that's a plan. Wonder if that's a plan. Brother Casual Germs in the house. What's good, bro? You're like, yeah, we went through those in Iraq. They suck, bro. Don't they? Don't they, man? I hated that. Couldn't see nothing, bro. And that was in 91. Couldn't see a thing, bro. I hated that, man. It was just dirt everywhere, bro. I mean, every nook and cranny of your body is going to be some dirt up in there, bro. Just letting you know. You know. Brother Casual Germ knows. That was, I ain't like that at all. But hey, it is what it is. What they say, war is hell. They ain't never lied. So, getting back to the article, but before taking any action, the government will be looking to the big banks to present a viable option, said financial consultant John Popeil, a former attorney with the FDIC. The government isn't driven by stock prices. All right. And that looks like that's the end. That's the end right there. This looks bad. This looks bad, y'all. I don't know how I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't know what they're gonna do. This looks bad. This looks bad. And then you're gonna couple that information, right? So that was that story, just that one bank. That's just talking about First Republic Bank. It really looks like First Republic is going to collapse. That's bad news for the whole country. That's bad news for the whole banking industry. That's really bad news for California. On top of everybody leaving and everything else, that's bad news for California. That bank is based out of San Francisco, Silicon. It's Silicon Valley Bank. It's another one from that area. So that's really bad news. And then we have this here. The U.S. GDP data indicates the economy is slowing. Gross domestic product rose at a 1.1 annualized pace for the first quarter. Economists surveyed by Dow Jones have been expecting growth of 2%. So the economy is slowing down, right? So the economists they talked to, the economists that they surveyed said the Dow Jones had been expected to grow by 2%. They got a hardworking brother. They got somebody on the line. Look at that. This right here, this brother right here is and they're on the endangered species list. UAW, man, United Auto Workers Union. You know, I believe in union. This picture right here, man, that's somebody making cars. I don't know what plant that is. Looks like maybe trucks. Where are they making trucks now? I think they're making trucks in Tennessee. I don't know. But that's UAW. That's a union man right there. United Autos Workers, right? I don't know if the unions would survive a depression, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know if the unions would survive. And I'm a union man. I believe in that. But yeah, that's the picture there, unions. And the economy is slowing down. Oh, that's a Ford truck assembly line in Dearborn, Michigan. So that's in Michigan. Um, Growth in the U.S. slowed considerably during the first 3 months of the year as interest rates increased and inflation took hold of an economy largely expected to decelerate even further ahead. Um, Gross domestic product, a measure of all goods and services produced for the period, rose at a 1.1 annualized pace for the first quarter. The Commerce Department reported Thursday. Economists surveyed by the Dow Jones had been expecting growth of 2%. The growth rate followed a fourth quarter in which the GDP rose 2.6%, part of a year that had a 2.1% increase. So, and these are the numbers. I think they're saying this is why we're not considered in a recession, because these numbers aren't technically down or whatever below certain rates or something. They were saying they're fudging numbers, man. They're trying to fudge the numbers at best. But we haven't experienced any growth. It's been going down. The report also shows that personal consumption expenditures price index and inflation measure that the Federal Reserve follows closely increased 4.2% ahead of the 3.7% estimate. High inflation and slow growth is sometimes described as stagflation, which characterized the late 1970s and early 80s U.S. economy. I grew up then. Yeah, that was not a good time to be alive. Being a little kid then, I mean, we were out just having fun and playing, but the grown-ups were not happy. I knew that as a kid. All the grown-ups, not just my parents and aunts and uncles, and it was everybody on the block. And not just our community, all the communities. That stagflation stuff. And then that was also the oil embargo or whatever. That's when gas went up, got crazy. It went over $1. And, there were lines at the gas, trying to get gas. It was lines to get gas and there was no fuel. That was not a good time, bro. I remember that. Stocks initially reacted little to the report, with major indexes pointing to a higher open. Treasury yields increased. So, I mean, this article just kind of goes on to talk about what's going on with these particular numbers. The slowdown in growth came because of a decline in private inventory investment and a deceleration in non-residential fixed investments. The report stated the inventory slowdown took 2.26% off the headline numbers. So, and they really kind of delve into it. I don't really understand the numbers. Just keeping it 100 with y'all. I don't really understand what all the different data points mean. I'm not in that field, way outside of my wheelhouse, but I do understand that the economy is slowing down and is going this way, and inflation is going that way. So that's a problem. That is a problem. So we do have a couple videos lined up here, and these people do understand these numbers. You guys know I'm a big fan of George Gammon, the Rebel Capitalist. So he has an 11-minute video that I thought that we should check out. He does a real good job of explaining this stuff, man. So shout out to him. If you haven't gone over to Rebel Capitalist, please check him out. If you live in the Central Florida area, next month, George Gammon is going to be in Orlando doing a conference, the Rebel Capitalist Conference. I'm going to try real hard to get over there just to do some networking and kind of learn from these people. I don't know what it costs, but if you go to the Rebel Capitalist online, all the information is there. They have all the different packages. He's going to be there. They're going to have like Robert Kiyosaki is going to be there. Peter Schiff is going to be there. So if you're one of those people in the financial world and you're like one of those kind of nerds, you want to go to this conference. Last year, he had it in Miami, and it was a really good conference. This year is in Orlando. So you guys may want to check that out for real. Wonderful 34s in the house. What's good, fam? Good to see you, man. We're over here talking finance, or at least, talking, trying to understand what's going on. About to watch a little bit of George Gammon. Let's check this out.
Hello, fellow Rebel Capitals. Hope you're well. So we've got another data point that shows us we are exactly where we were, if not worse than the GFC. So let's get into this
The GFC is a great financial crisis. Oh wait,
chart right away and check this out. I mean, it's just chart after chart after chart that we've been seeing, where it's GFC here, now here, or worse. So this is the volatility in the 2-year Treasury. And actually, it's right here on the email. Josh sent it over. So basically, this is the degree to which the 2-year Treasury yield is going up and down and up and down. The market just can't decide what to do. And excuse me. And when you see a black swan event, when you see a financial crisis, you always see this type of volatility in assets. Oh, maybe not all assets, maybe not in real estate, but you see this type of volatility in assets such as the 2-year Treasury. And again, it's exactly what we're seeing right now. Look at the volatility in the 2-year Treasury just during the cerveza sickness. It's like nothing. And I know the Fed came in and provided liquidity, kind of backstop the market. But then you can look at the historic norm right around, let's say, 1.5. And just recently, it's shot up to over 4. And you can see pretty much right where we were during the depths of the GFC. And what's astonishing is it's at this level, and you know the whole world isn't falling apart. You turn on CNBC, and Jerome Powell and the central planners in the mainstream media, they're telling you how great things are, and that it's this.
And that's the thing with these numbers, yo. They pull up these charts, and you look at this stuff, and it's like, yo, it should be a problem. Like the wheels should be falling off. People should be, oh my God, the sky's falling, but no one is. No one's talking about it. We're talking about all this other stuff, man. You want to talk about a great job with smoke and mirrors? They do a great job with smoke and mirrors. And you got people like, George Gammon and Peter Schiff who are like, look, man, we've seen this before. We know what it is. We know these indicators. They're ready for it. They know it's going to be blood in the streets. They're cash heavy. They're ready. George Gammon's thing is he's like, there's like people are like, what's your investment strategy? Do you use this strategy or that strategy? He's like, look, bro, I buy stuff when it's cheap. I sell it when it's expensive. That's my strategy. It's like he keeps it simple, and he's ready. He's ready for a whole bunch of stuff to get cheap, and he's gonna buy it. He's gonna buy the stuff up when it's cheap, and then when it goes back up, he's gonna sell it. Same thing with Robert Kiyosaki. Kiyosaki was talking about buying ammo, just like Brother Jay Swans was saying. Brother XFO is in the house. What's good, fam? Good afternoon to you, man. Good afternoon to all enjoying the live. Thank you, bro. I'm glad you're having a good time watching this. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, and like I said, this proved the next crisis is close. This is what he's talking about. Let's watch a couple more minutes.
Goldilocks economy, and there's nothing to worry about. Just keep going out and running up your credit card when all the data is coming in and just, like a club to the side of the head saying, yeah, I don't care what type of Goldilocks scenario you guys are dreaming of in your fantasy world, but in the real world, it's about ready to hit the fan. And that's exactly what this chart is referencing. Now, let's remember why aside from volatility, why the 2-year Treasury is so important, why you should be watching it like a hawk. If we go to a chart of the 2-year and the 10-year, so this is 10-year minus the 2-year. So when this goes negative, that means that there's an inversion in the curve. And
now, I'm sure people have heard about inversions. There's been an inversion in the curve, the stuff he's talking about. I know I've heard it a lot. Not gonna lie to you, I never truly understood what they were talking about, what they were referencing. He's about to get into it now, and they're always talking about the 2-year and the 10-year. They're talking about the Treasury. I mean, it is what it is. Wonderful 34, man. I appreciate you, bro, with the cash app, man. Still don't know how to put that on there, but this is for you, bro. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that, man, because I'm trying. Y'all can tell this is not my wheelhouse. I don't understand this stuff that well, but I'm trying to. And I know a lot of y'all understand better than I do. So I'm always reading the chats. I'm watching closely so y'all can teach me what's going on. But they're talking about the 2-year and the 10-year treasury. And they talk about the inversion. Like, so you got the chart, you see how the chart's going up above the line, and you got up here, but when it drops below the line and it makes this inversion, that's what they're talking about. So let's listen to this part.
We talk about this a lot, but in my opinion, this is the most important thing. And it's pretty much the easiest thing that you can watch to determine how close we are to that next financial crisis. And what it's telling us right now, just spoiler alert, is that we're getting very close. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow or next week, but it's getting to the point where, 3 months, 6 months, that's probably my base case time horizon, if you will. So why do I say that? Okay. Well, we look at the inversion of the curve, and the curve normally uninverts or is no longer inverted when you actually have the stuff hit the fan. So the gray bar is a recession, or the technical term, like I said, is the stuff hitting the fan. But this doesn't happen until that 2-year treasury starts getting back down closer to the 10 and then crosses over to where there's no longer an inversion. And what happens just prior to that, you get that volatility where one day it goes up and then down and then up and then down, because this is the bulls and the bears trying to decide who is right, who is wrong. And
wow, hey, I'm trying to learn here, guys. And even Brother Doug is like, he's like, yeah, man. He's like, DL, you're not alone. He's like, LOL, I'm trying to understand myself. And I've really been trying to follow this for the past year or so, really trying to wrap my head around it. It helps if you're a numbers person. And I get the gist of what they're saying. So when I watch this content, it really does help me understand, because I see what he's talking about. There's a lot of volatility going up and down. And I get what he's saying. He's like, well, it's the bulls and the bears trying to figure out who was right, who was wrong on their strategies. And then it levels out. And once it levels out, I think he said that's when it hits. And again, the 1%ers, this doesn't hurt them. They see these trends all the time. This is when they know they're about to make some money. The bulls and the bears, they know it, like, whatever. It doesn't matter how much money they're going to make. They're going to make more money, though. You know what I mean? So let's continue.
Usually, I'm no technical analyst or anything, but from what I've read, whenever you see that strong volatility, that almost always represents a top or a bottom, because whomever wins, then it goes parabolic in the other direction. And quite frankly, I think the bulls, meaning the bond bulls with the 2-year, are going to win, meaning the yield is going to go down from here and the price is going to go up. Yield going down would take it closer to that 10-year treasury.
So when I hear this kind of stuff, I'm like, yo, bro. So, we're not going to play the entirety of this particular video. There was another video when he was talking about First Republic Bank. I'm going to see if I can find that, because that's the video I thought this was. And I watched that the other day. I want to say yesterday I watched it. It was like, yo, this is crazy. I'm scanning for it now. Just give me a second. I think it's gonna come up. I have to type it in. Yeah, I'm gonna have to type it in. I think, is this it right here? The next. This was 2 days ago. The next prompt. This might be it right here. I think this is it. I'm going to pull this up for you guys. Again, more George Gammon. Shout out to him. I'm going to try to catch him in Orlando. And if I do, if he's a drinker, I'm going to buy him a bottle of scotch or cognac or tequila or whatever it is he drinks. I know he lives in Colombia. So I don't know if he's a drinker. In fact, I need to ask Fresh, if he's a drinker, and if so, what's his brand? Because I'm always using this brother's content, trying to learn. And it's trying to learn in a area, in a genre where I am just like stupid. I ain't gonna lie to you, I am just stupid. So Here it is. Let's give this a listen. I think this is what he was talking about. You know what I mean? So here we go.
Hello, fellow Rebel Capitalists. Hope you're well. So we have got some breaking news in the subprime market. The delinquencies are now higher than they were in 2009. But I'm not referring to the housing subprime market. This time, we're seeing the same dynamic play out in the auto loan subprime market. We're going to get right into an article from Bloomberg and check this out. Before we do, I want to remind everyone to get their tickets to Rebel Capitalists Live ASAP. We got incredible speakers like Mike Maloney. There they are. Peter Schiff, Robert Barnes, Lynn Alden, Simon Black, Brent Johnson, Jeff Snyder, yours truly, just name a few, some VIP guests, my good buddy Kiyosaki, uneducated economist Tracy Shukart, Steve Van Meter. This is an event you are not going to want to miss. Get your tickets at rebelcapitalistlive.com ASAP. Now let's get into this article from Bloomberg. The repo man returns. They're not talking about Jeff Snyder or Zoltan Posar. I can assure you of that. They're talking about the repossession man, the repossession of.
Which is crazy, guys. And again, this is another indicator of there's so many parts of the financial market that's kind of messed up right now. We know that commercial real estate is a problem on the horizon that's going to have to be dealt with. There's issues over there. The average car loan in America, I think, is $1,000 right now, man. It's $1,000, and people are being laid off. Work is slowing down. They're not getting as many hours. There's all kind of stuff going on. So now folks are getting their cars repossessed. I know that I've had people, that I know personally were telling me about stories like, yo, I got my car repossessed, man. I fell into some hard times. They're just trying to figure out a way to work up their money so they can get their car back. These are real issues that are not good for an economy. It's not good at all. And what's going to happen next? You're going to have more people getting evicted. And then there's no pandemic, so you can't stay in there getting, money from the government or with these rules that won't let you get kicked out. Evictions are going to start going up again. This is going to be a problem. No car, no house to live in, no apartment. And then you got the banks. They're not loaning out money. You got the credit crunch. You got First Republic. You see all these things are starting to happen. Like all this stuff is coming at the same time. Again, like another perfect storm. Again, that storm is on the horizon. It's just inching closer and closer and closer. It's going to hurt when it gets here, guys. It's going to hurt.
All of these cars that have been purchased, over the last decade, really, where the average car payment has gone up to like $1,000 or something close to. I mean, when I read these numbers, it just completely blows my mind that people are paying that much for a car payment for a depreciating asset. But let's get down into the nitty gritty here, because now money is not free and interest rates have gone up, which means that the price of a car loan goes up. They're underwater. And let's not forget that during the last 10 years, the reason people were able to afford a $100,000 car is because they just took out their payments and they extended them over like 8 years. Where I remember when I was growing up, a car loan was like 3 years. So you had two options.
And he's not lying about that. When I was coming up, man, we gonna get a car. It was 3 years, man. It's 36 months. That was it. Those were car loans. Credit had to be on point. Cars, you had to get a car that you could afford. Down payments came into play. That was it, man. 36 months. That was a car loan. Now you get 60 months plus these days. I mean, they come in off rip. They don't want to, no down payment. They're looking at 60 months right off the rip, man. They're looking at 48 months. Like it ain't nothing. Like it's just like, yo, we get you in here for 60 months, 72 months. 72 months on a car loan, paying between $700 and $1,200 a month. That's before insurance and everything else. And people had the stimmy money, so they did it.
Options: pay in cash or pay over 3 years. Now they extend it to 5 years, 8 years. Who knows? They probably go to 10 years. So by the time you get done paying off your car, you have massive negative equity. Or even, if you want to give it back to the dealership, oh my goodness gracious, you owe far, far more than the car is worth. You combine.
He ain't never lied. Sister Rollins is in the house. What's good, love? Good to see you. Hope you are well. She's like, yep, Lisa is too. And don't get a scratch. Yeah, don't get a scratch. Oh, you plan on going over the miles? You can buy extra miles up front, but most people don't do that. They're forced to use these vehicles. They drive all over the place because they lose one job, they get laid off, and then their next job is some crazy commuter way, and they have no choice. They got to get there. And the whole time they're paying on this lease, and they know that they're going to be over their miles, and they know what the penalty is. And it's like, wow, the car has no value. I'm paying this crazy amount for the lease, and I'm already going to have to owe when I take this car back, and I don't have the money to pay for the extra miles, which the car dealers, if they can, they'll be like, no problem. We'll take that money you owe and roll it into the next one, put you into another car with another lease with a longer term. And oh man, this is where we are right now, guys.
Find that with people's real incomes being negative, meaning their nominal wages might be increasing, but when you add the rate of inflation, which is what really matters, their purchasing power is going down. Their purchasing power is less today than it was in 2019. So they start this article talking about, I don't know, how this Orlando repo company is doing extremely well, and they're expecting their business to boom in 2006. And one of the main reasons they're expecting their business to boom is because this chart that we used on the thumbnail right here. Let me go over this more specifically here. In March, the percentage of subprime auto borrowers were at least 60 days late, 5.3%. That's up from a 7-year low, which is exactly what you would expect in May of 2021. Stimmy checks, PPP. People are just getting free money from everywhere. So of course they're going to make their car payment. But now it's a different story. And to give you some context, that 5.3% is higher than we saw in 2009.
So yeah, we see it coming, y'all. Like I said, that storm is getting closer and closer and closer. It's already higher. This is just the beginning. It hasn't even hit yet. We'll watch a little bit more of this, and then we'll begin to wrap this up.
But there's an even bigger problem. Let me shoot over to this chart I found from Wolf Street. And back during the last subprime housing and auto debacle, the auto loans and leases about $800 billion. Now, $1.4 trillion. $800 billion. Okay, so at $800 billion, is the subprime auto market a problem? Yes. But at $1.4 trillion, it's not just a problem, it's a crisis. So let's get back to the Bloomberg article.
And Sister Rosa has a good point. So all these cars get repoed. Who's going to buy them? You're right. It's not going to be a lot of people in the market for these vehicles, and it's going to destroy an already teetering auto market because cars were crazy. They were crazy priced. Remember the chip shortage and all this? You couldn't get a new car, so the new cars went through the roof. Now there's stories out there of dealerships that are closing. They can't move inventory. They can't get loans. Remember, there's a credit crunch now. The ones who can get loans, the interest rates are higher. So instead of getting these loans, these loans to keep their business afloat, because they're just, operating expenses, this and that, they were getting that money at, I don't know, 2%, maybe less. But now you're getting that same money you need to borrow. You have to borrow that thing at like 5, 6, 7%, maybe higher. So again, it's just so many little things that are just slowly inching in. This storm is huge.
They say it's difficult to determine exactly how many repossessions will occur this year. Cox Automotive estimates 1.2 million, up 5.3% from 2021. They say that's still down from 1.6, but where we were in 2009 is 1.77. So in 2023, they're expecting more than we saw again during 2009. Then they go, for some reason, they talk about the history of the repossession business. Okay. And they, like, we get it. And I think what's really interesting is this picture right here. They talk about how there's a buzz at this year's North American Repossessors Summit. And I didn't even know this was a thing, but I guess it's like Rebel Capitalists Live for repo men and repo women, where you can go there and they have all these booths, but then they have all these displays on these things that you can buy to make repossessing people's cars just that much easier. Like, oh, look at all the gadgets that you've got on this new tow truck. Make it even easier to grab people's cars without them knowing.
Like, it's crazy out there. I mean, it's a business like any other. And they're like, all right, business is about to be good. You know, it's kind of like, he's like, yeah, man, I'm in the car repossession the business, and cousin, business is a booming. That's what's going to be happening. They're going to be snatching up cars left and right. Ah, man, this is going to be ugly. This is going to be ugly. We already know people are laying off. You see what's going on again with the credit crunch and all this other kind of stuff. You know, banks, especially if First Republic goes under, all the other banks are going to seriously tighten up. All the credit card companies are going to really start tightening up. So, man, it's going to be crazy. Good thing I'm a vet. If I want to, you know, when the prices come down, home prices are coming down. Most people wealth is tied to their home. So home prices are coming down, which means their wealth is coming down, but not the 1%. They're going to be out there buying bigger and better boats, right? The have-nots and the have-yachts. The have-yachts are going to be getting on. And then when the economy finally turns around after about a year and a half or so, they're going to own everything. This is how it works. It's not it is what it is. Let's continue.
Oh, geez. You learn something new every day. There's a Rebel Capitalist Live for repo people. And then they go on to talk about this story from this gal that really puts things into perspective. Usually I don't like these kind of emotional heartstring type stories, but this one, I think, really gives you a very good idea of what's happening out there with the average Joe and Jane in the United States. So this gal, Sarah Fader, freelance writer in New Haven, Connecticut, fear of repossession is constantly on her mind. After totaling her car in 2021, the 43-year-old single mom of 2 teenagers had to get another fast, but with a credit score of 500. Okay, so I could create a whole entire separate video on a 43-year-old single mom of 2 kids with a 500 credit score.
And listen, this is a thing that a lot of people just don't understand, man. When you come from that world, when you really don't have nothing, when you're out here you're just a battery to the system. You're just out there. You're a worker bot. You're working at a restaurant. You're working at like a sit down restaurant, like a Perkins or a Cheesecake Factory or something like that. Not even like a Denny's or a Perkins or a Waffle House. You're working at Target. You're working at Walmart. You know what I mean? When you're doing these type jobs, you got 2 or 3 jobs. You're single. You got 2 kids. You're struggling to keep food on the table, whatever. Your kids are probably bad. It's not like your kids are going out there trying to get work, and try to help you out. I've been working since I was 14 years old. So it's not like your kids are out there like back in the day when the whole family chipped in. Nah, it's none of that. They sitting there and looking at you like, Mom, go out and make this money. Got into a car accident. She didn't even talk about whether she had insurance or not. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. Got a low credit score, had to go out there and get a car and got her pockets fleeced. And it's not like you have a choice. And her interest rate is probably insane. I doubt if she I don't know if she's gonna mention her interest rate on here. So what 500 some credit score, you getting yourself a car. I can only imagine what that interest rate is. And again, what term did she get? So I mean, I get it. Some, George Gammon did pull himself up, but by the bootstraps. But I'm not sure if he came from. I know he didn't come from the world I came from. I know he didn't come from that. And that's another thing too. Speaking of that world, bro, when these things happen, people want to self-medicate. So the streets is going to start booming. Them D boys out there and them D girls out there about to start booming. So it's going to be money moving around. It's, man, the 80s, man, it was billionaires being made in the streets. The dude on the corner, the local plug, was making millions. So this is where we're going. It's crazy. But let's listen to the rest of this story.
We won't go down that path. She struggled to find a lender who'd approve her. Shocker. She finally got a 2016 Subaru Crosstrek for 26 grand with a 19% interest rate.
Jesus. 19% interest when everyone else was getting less than 3-4%. If you had bad credit, you might have been paying 6%. She got 19% APR. Almost 20 cents on every dollar she borrowed. She borrowed $26,000 and she's paying like 20 cents on every dollar. Man, I mean, this is, and again, you stuck.
19% with a monthly payment of $630. $630. Now, I remember vividly, this would have been me going back to 2006, maybe 2006, right around there. I remember I bought a Porsche 911, and it wasn't just a 911, it was a 4S, which for those of you who know about cars, it's four-wheel drive, yada, yada, yada. And I was so excited because it was the first kind of like, well, I'd had nice cars before that, but that was the first like super, super nice, like fast kind of sports car that I had or that I purchased. And I remember very well my payment being under $1,000. Under $1,000. So,
yeah, bro, he got a 911, right? He had an S. That's a machine. Shout out to George Gammon. That's a machine. He said he got rid of it, and he was paying less than $1,000. So he's paying probably less than what she was paying. His interest rate was probably around 2-3%, something like that. Even if it was higher, he doesn't care. He's buying a sports car, like an iconic brand. She got a Subaru. And he's just trying to draw the comparison. And the people who are stuck with making these decisions, they are truly stuck. She had she had to do it. She totaled out her car. She was in the bind. She was in the bind. She had to do it. It sucks. But she had to do it. 2 kids, 2 teenage kids who ain't even working, trying to help out. They might have crashed the car in the first place. It's about to get rough out there. Y'all, let's continue.
I know this gal's payment isn't $1,000, but let's just say my payment for that Porsche 911 was, I don't know, $900. And it would have been like a 3-year loan, or yeah, it would have been 3 years. Wouldn't have been more than that, I don't think. But regardless, this gal's getting a Subaru for $630 a month. And I guarantee you that's probably on an 8-year car loan or whatever. At 19%. That is unbelievable. I mean, if that's not a perfect example of inflation, I don't know what is, due to the central planners. Because let's remember, Fed keeps interest rates artificially low. They prop up the market. The government deficit spends. What happens? These car lenders are like, yeah, we'll give you 3. How about 5 years? How about 6 years? How about 7 years? How about 8 years? We'll just worry about the depreciation later. And then interest rates go up, and the prices of the cars go up as a result. And now all of a sudden you're paying $630 a month for a Subaru, for heaven's sakes. It's not even a new one. It's 2016.
And one of those things he's not mentioning is, when you get into these deals, right? You get these used cars or whatever, probably not certified. She's certainly not going to have the money to get an extended warranty or anything like that. So you got this car, even if she bought it new, you're looking at 3 years, 36,000 miles, the basic, bumper to bumper, manufacturer warranty. I think Subaru offers some extended warranty. But I mean, I don't think it's 4 years, and you got to pay for most of the other stuff. And I think it's 10,000 miles. No, it's 100,000 miles, I think, on the drivetrain. So 3 years, 36,000 miles, bumper to bumper. After that, you got to get the car fixed. You got to handle your own service. And let me take that back. Not everyone offers a service agreement. So, like, if you're buying a Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Audi, something like that, yeah, that you could buy you a service agreement along with that, so you don't even have to worry about changing the oil. And if it's a lease, they do that. You just bring the car to them, they service the car because they know they're getting it back. They want the car to be in tip-top shape. So she's not even doing that. So you get that, you're paying that car note, you got insurance. Something happens to the car, you're through. You get a flat tire, you're through. Most people don't have roadside assistance. You get a flat tire, you're done. You got to go out buy your tire. That's what, again, people who sell used tires, that business is going to go up. And again, if you lose your job or any one of your jobs, inflation hits, gas, the price of gas goes up, the price of groceries go up. You're not even worried about cable, and you got your phone. You got to have your phone, right? So you're not even worried about cable, internet. You're using your phone. You're worried about your lights. You're worried about paying for the utilities. It happens like that, y'all. It happens fast. Before you know it, you through. You through, Brother Doug. I refuse to get another car loan, cash only deals for me. Well, cash only deals, you about to get some great opportunities, brother. What do you want to drive? Cash only deals right now. I mean, I'm looking at my vehicle like, I should have sold it a few months ago. I mean, I'm gonna do something with it. Or I might just hold on to it and ride this out, ride out the next year and a half, 2 years, and then get something on the other end. I mean, if you're working there's money out there to be made, y'all. There's stuff out there you could do, especially if you're an entrepreneur. There's stuff out there, but that poor woman, she's about to get wrecked. But yeah, Brother Doug, man, you doing cash only deals. There's gonna be some deals out there for you, man. I give it 6 months, 6 to 8 months. Same with people looking for houses. Give it 6 to 8 months. There's gonna be some deals out there on some multifamilies. Gonna be some great deals out there. Remember, the government still has money. So you can go out there and get you a FHA loan on a fourplex, live in one, and rent out the other three. There's still going to be ways to get bread out there. Still going to be ways to get money. So like when there's blood in the street, this is when people make their money. This is when they make their millions. But getting into it, man, it hurts. It hurts. And Sister Rouse, she's like, yeah, I'm right behind you, cash only. It's gonna be some deals for y'all out there. If y'all doing cash, you watch, keep your eye. My cousin, I got a cousin who watches the auto market like a hawk. That's like his hobby. And he always keep me abreast of what prices for this and that. And we talk about Porsches a lot and stuff like that. Porsche always tends to hold their value pretty good. But he said that even they're starting to come down just a little bit. Mercedes, BMW, Audi, they've been going down. But now I think it's about to really go down. So depending on what you're looking for, cash is king.
Wow. When prior to the GFC, let's say, you could have gotten a Porsche for almost for a similar interest rate or for a similar monthly payment. And trust me, my credit score was not 500. Wow. So look, she had to go to, okay, so then it says this quickly became unaffordable as cost of food and gas rose. So everybody thought, well, oh, these stimmy checks are great. Oh, the PPP is great. I mean, what are we going to do? Let people starve to death? And it was only people like me that were saying, hey, this is going to bite you in the butt. That you're sitting there saying, well, we have to do something. And the answer is no, we don't. Not if doing something is going to make the matter far worse for the people you're trying to help, for heaven's sakes. And we see this playing out right in front of our eyes, right with this story. Because the government created all this consumer price inflation by locking you in a cage and completely destroying the global supply chains. And then to add fuel to the fire, they increase M2 by 25%. A large part of that was due to all these stimmies and PPP, quote unquote, free money. And now people like Sarah are paying the price. There's no free lunch. And unfortunately, using her as a proxy for the poor and middle class, they're starting to pay the price now. And they're going to continue to pay the price into the future, especially if we go into a recession where the unemployment rate goes up to, let's say, 10%. Let's remember that the delinquency rate right now, let's go back to that chart because this is very important. The delinquency rate right now is higher or just as high as it was during 2009 with these subprime auto loans. But let's also remember that currently the unemployment rate is 3.5%. Where do you think the delinquency rate would be if unemployment was 10%?
You see why I like listening to this guy? You see why I like listening to this dude? He's basically saying what everyone's, if you listen to this story or you understand anything about the economy, it's like, bro, we know the unemployment rate is going to go up. It's impossible for it not to. We know the unemployment rate is going to rise. And he's already thrown it out there like 10%. Just wait. Like, just you wait and see. And it's going to happen when there's no national pandemic or anything like that. There's no emergency going on. What's the government going to do? You think they're going to cut checks again? No. It's going to hurt. And this is why Jerome Powell wants to keep the interest rates up as long as he can. He understands, like, bro, it's going to hurt, but the country's going to have to take their medicine. This is what happens, y'all. It's going to be a problem. For those who want to work, they're going to be able to find work, but you're not going to be out there, getting your remote job, making $250,000 a year, sitting in the house doing nothing. You're going to have to work. And those people who are getting the stuff done and hard workers, they're going to get paid. And a lot of people might have to take pay cuts just to keep their jobs. And benefits. That's another big thing. Benefits. Amazon is already laying people off. Like there's like, again, you look at there are a lot of department stores that are cutting back. Sears, JCPenney's, they're cutting back if they're not all the way gone. Walmart is coming out of Target. There are all these employers. And then the whole thing with the auto loans and stuff like that, the car business, right? The auto industry, the sales industry, all those mid-size and small dealerships, gone. All those mechanics are going to be out of work. All those line guys are going to be out of work. The guys who just move the cars around and, entry-level stuff, cleaning cars up and stuff like that. The salesmen, gone. The admin people, gone. The service people, gone. They're probably only going to have one finance person. Even if they have any sales, like what is the sales going to look like? So when Brother Doug and Sister Rosin go out there to buy themselves a car, it probably be buying the stuff, talking to people online. BMW, look, Mercedes-Benz USA just sent me an email. He probably telling me to shut up. Think about that. The big dealerships, the mega dealerships, they're probably surviving, but those medium to large dealerships, they're going to go under. It's already happening. The small dealerships, dead. The medium-sized ones, they're trying to figure out how to stay afloat, but they can't get the cheap money anymore. Y'all see how all this kind of ties into each other? This is going to hurt. This is going to hurt. You got people like me. Well, I'm retired. Like, I'm cool, but I'll probably have to go out and find a way to make some money. It's going to hurt. Brother Doug, with the added interest on the car loan, by the time you pay it off, a car and a half. Yep, by the time you pay it, it's a car and a half. Right. When you're looking at something like that, 19, 20% interest, which is extremely high. I mean, back in the 90s, you used to get that 24% interest rates. 24%. I know people that had to pay 24% interest on used cars. They bought that thing 3 times. They bought it 3 times, but that was the price they had to pay to get credit. They got excellent credit now. But back then, we just getting started. We were kids. 24% interest on a vehicle. 24%. They pay basically a quarter for every dollar borrowed. Got bent right on over. Man, I mean, this is, man, it's going to be crazy.
15%, which is what we very well could see at the end of 2023 or going into 2024. And then let's also remember, oh, but wait, there's more. The auto loan market has gone from 800 billion up to 1.4 trillion. I mean,
I might have to get into the repo business, y'all. They're going to be yanking cars up left and right. It's going to be crazy. Now, that job is going to be real dangerous down here in Florida with everybody with their, these new concealed carry loosey rules. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of rounds flying back and forth over repo men trying to get these cars. And the people who, they know the repo man is looking for them, so they try to hide the vehicles. I mean, it's a game of cat and mouse, and it's sad because these people need these vehicles to get to work. It is sad. It makes their life so hard. I mean, it's terrible. It is terrible, but that's where we are right now.
It's so much so that we now have conferences for people in the repossession business. And they're so excited because they're looking at all of these economic indicators that we talk about on this channel. And they're just giddy because they know that their business is going to boom. Now, we want businesses to boom in the United States, but we want them to boom because of free market capitalism, not because the poor and middle class are being completely decimated.
Facts. And that's what always happens, guys. It's the poor and middle class who pay the price. Always. Always. That's why, in my opinion, we don't have a middle class anymore. It's the have-yachts and the have-nots. And that's where we are. Shout out to Andrew Tate. When I first heard him say that, I'm like, bro, he's spot on. Either you have it or you don't. That's where we are. So this is going to hurt for those who aren't prepared. This is going to hurt for those people who just live check to check, which is most Americans. Remember, most Americans cannot afford an unexpected expense of $500. Most Americans can't. They can't handle that. That includes the Americans who are making 6 figures. I know air traffic controllers out there right now are making $250,000 a year and they spend $270,000 a year. I also know air traffic controllers out there who are making $105,000 a year and they spend $70,000 a year and they save a ton of money. It's just up to the people and what kind of life they want to live. So it's going to get ugly. All of this is going into a presidential election cycle. Honestly, who wants to be president with all this stuff going on? Seriously, like who wants this kind of drama, this kind of smoke? Do y'all really think Joe Biden has what it takes to deal with this? I don't think so. It's going to be extremely stressful. Same thing for Trump. He's old too and out of shape. It's going to be too stressful. He doesn't even care. That dude, when he was president, he was hardly in the White House. When he was president, they couldn't even tell him real secrets. They had to keep secrets from him. He's on a different time. We're going to need a real president, guys. We're going to need a real one. We're going to need, and I don't care, Republican, Democrat. I don't care, man. I don't care. Federalist, Whig, don't care. I don't want any communists though. I don't want them. But y'all get me. I don't want them. But we're going to need someone who's out there with some answers. There's going to be out here with have an administration and have a mission to do what's best for America. We haven't even talked about what's going on abroad. We haven't even talked about it. Look at what's going on in Sudan. Look what's going on in Ukraine. We still got our eyes on North Korea and China. We haven't even talked about it. When America gets hit hard financially and Americans have problems, the rest of the world has problems too. Everyone's going to suffer. Everyone's going to suffer. If North America's having problems, Central and South America's having problems too. Africa's having problems too. We're going to export this pain to everybody. Everybody. We're going to need a president. We're going to need politicians who are about solving problems. That's what we're going to need. We're going to need them going into this next election cycle. We're going to need them. Do me a favor, guys. In the comments later on team, like this will be on Team Replay. In the comments, seriously, no BS. Tell me the names of some politicians that you think can handle the White House going into this dark time. Jay Swans was saying maybe Sununu. I like Liz Cheney. I like Liz Cheney. I'm not opposed to seeing her go to the White House and utilize her network and her family name to maybe navigate us through this tough time. I don't know. I can't think of any Democrats. People were saying, Michelle Obama, she ain't gonna want this job. She ain't gonna want that job. She ain't gonna want that smoke. Do me a favor, put some names of really think about it. Don't do it now. Think about it. Do me a favor, think about it, come back and then drop some names. I'll be on tomorrow, same time. We're going to do another Downrange podcast. We're going to talk some more politics. Let's talk about, matter of fact, let's do that tomorrow. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock, we're going to talk about real viable candidates for the presidency of the United States of America, because we need real ones at this point. We can't be playing around with clowns like Biden and Trump. We can't be playing around with DeSantis. No, we can't be playing around with Newsom. We can't. No, we need real Americans who out there trying to solve some problems. I'll even throw Andrew Yang's name out there. Yeah, I said it. Andrew Yang. Brother Doug is saying Joe Mnuchin. All right. I'm serious, man. Throw some names down here. We're gonna have this on the show tomorrow. We're gonna have this on the show, man. Let's see some names. Like, forget all the BS, man. Forget all the stupidness, man. Serious, real talk. We headed there, y'all. We are headed to a brick wall, pedal to the metal. We're doing 1,000 miles an hour. We need someone who's going to get up there and take control of this car, slow it down, and maybe stop this country from going headlong into a wall and just getting completely wrecked. Maybe. And if they can't stop it, at least get it slowed down to where it's not going to destroy us all. I'm serious, y'all. It's time to stop playing. This is about to happen. You see what George Gammon was talking about with the repo market with cars. Americans have gotten themselves in it. They've gotten themselves in it. Y'all know when they do these unemployment numbers, they stop counting after a certain while. For some people, if they don't find a job in a certain period, they stop counting them. They say, "Oh, or did they get a job?" No, we just stopped counting them. So we might be close to that. The real number, the real unemployment number might be close to 10%, which I don't understand because there's so many jobs down here in Florida. If you're an American, you can hear my voice and you're in America and you want a job, come to Florida. You're gonna get a job. That's the good news is you'll get a job. The bad news is the housing might be a little bit crazy. Rents and stuff have gone up crazy. But if you're out in California or some high expensive city or state, it ain't gonna bother you. So I don't know. Last good man in Jersey's in the house. What's good, fam? How you feeling? Appreciate that, man. And, hey, guys, go over and support Last Good Man in Jersey's website. He's just getting started. He's out there doing it. Yo. And, bro, let me, I'm gonna pull up. Brother Doug, if you could do me a favor, Brother Doug, can you go to Last Good Man in Jersey's site, YouTube channel, man, and drop it in the link in the chat for me, please? I was trying to do it, but I was trying to keep my mind right on what I was talking about. So yeah, let's go over there and support Last Good Man in Jersey, man. I know how hard it is to get started. It ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. And I've gone over there and I'll try to catch a live every now and then. I throw some likes in there. I'll subscribe. I know it's hard, bro. Brother Doug's like, I like Rand Paul, but I don't believe this country is ready for him. I'll write his name down. I'm not crazy about Rand Paul. I'm not. I'm really not, because he's done some clownish stuff, man. I want people I ain't never heard of. I'll put his name down there. You know, we need, who's the governor? Who's the governor of Georgia? Is it Kemp? Who's the governor of Georgia? Maybe him. Somebody help me out. Who's the governor of Georgia? Brother Doug, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. Last good man in Jersey, y'all. Go over there and show the brother some love. Show him some support. Brother Mandrell, all of your information today has been wrong, DL. All of it, bro. All of it. All of it, man. George Gammon's wrong. Like, come on, Mandrell. What's going on, Airborne? All of it's wrong. First Republic is going under, bro. That's not wrong. I mean, I don't know if the government's gonna want to save them this time, and the other banks ain't jumping to save them either. They might take too long. You know what I mean? Dancing around it, and then they're just gonna go under. Brian Kemp, thank you, brother, and you're welcome. Brian Kemp. Would Brian Kemp be a good guy? A good candidate for president of the United States? You know what I mean? I'm not cool with Texas governor, what's his name, Wheels. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just can't remember his name. I'm not crazy with him. I definitely don't want California's governor to be president of the United States. Definitely don't want him. You know, and then, I mean, there are a lot of guys out there, a lot of men and women out there who are old. And I don't know if I would really want them. I don't know, man. Yeah, and Brother Doug, like, man, Drill got me scratching my head on that comment. Man, me too. Like, what I do, man, Drill? Yeah, man. I mean, we're gonna start with them. Brian Kemp, I put Rand Paul down there, but I ain't crazy about him. Joe Mnuchin. I got Liz down there. Got Liz Cheney down there. Who else? What Democrats out there might be able to do something? What Democrats? And look at the man, Joe, like, just messing with you. You got me on that one, bro, because I was like, what? How was that wrong? That's my dude, man. That's Mandrell. That's my guy. I can't wait to meet Mandrell in person. We're gonna make that happen this summer, bro. I might have to come up there, hang out with you country boys. But I really need you to come on down to Miami, hang out with us city folk. We're gonna work that out. You say Kennedy looks like he wants to run. Which Kennedy? Kennedy, huh? Kennedy might want to run. Oh man, I don't know, guys. I'll look up his first name, bro. And Brother Mandrell is saying, either way you look at it, there are just no good candidates out there. Man, that's the truth, man. There are good candidates out there. They're just not in the public eye. There's some good Americans out there, I think, that could step up and make this happen. Again, Andrew Yang, bro. Call me crazy. I'm down with Andrew Yang, man. I got his name down here. I'm down with him. So we're gonna start with those names. We're gonna do a show tomorrow, and we're gonna see if we can start that on this platform, bro. Let's start the conversation. Let's see if we can find someone fit to lead this nation, because it's going to be a dark time. This is going to be. I wasn't even thinking about the subprime auto market. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking about the commercial real estate market. I was thinking about the residential real estate market, because we know those prices are going to come down. I was thinking about the current credit crunch. Banks, money ain't cheap anymore. Money's gotten expensive if they would even loan to you. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about First Republic and then the fallout from them going under, because it looks like they might not make it through tomorrow. They might crash. They might go under over the weekend. I was thinking about all that stuff, but I wasn't thinking about those cars. The average American car note is $1,000 a month. The average rent is $2,000 a month. That's $3,000 between your car and your rent. Those numbers aren't sustainable, people. They're not sustainable, brother Doug. Not the crazy Kennedy in the South. Yep. Yang will push UBI. He will push UBI. He will call it the freedom dividend. Doesn't mean he can get Congress to do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like, doesn't mean he can get the House and the Senate to sign off on it. But again, that's another conversation. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow. We'll talk about UBI as well, because I'm not sure if America can continue without some form of UBI. I put that under Andrew Yang's name. I'm not sure. And again, this UBI has been going on in Alaska forever. So there's plenty of good arguments for, and I'm pretty sure there are good arguments against. So tomorrow we're gonna do that. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock, right here, we're gonna do another Downrange podcast. The topic is the right stuff. Who has what it takes to be president of the United States? Who should we be backing? Who should be running in this 2024 election? Let's get away from the stupidness. Let's get away from the dummies, and let's find out. Let's see if we can figure out right here and maybe start something right here as to who should be stepping up and doing their duty for the United States of America. Brother Mandrell, are you dropping a link today, DL saying? All right, I'll drop it. Since you asked, bro. I'll drop it. I was just about to close it out, but since you asked, bro, do me a favor, man. Don't curse too much. So far, we good on the monetization. I was able to keep it clean. But there's the link, bro. But I think UBI is going to happen. I don't think there's no way we can get away. I don't think there's any way we can get around not having UBI. And Brother Doug is saying UBI will happen in the future for sure. The closer we get to 2030, it's going to happen. Yeah, bro, I believe you. I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, I don't know if the 1% will stand in the way. It doesn't really affect them. I don't know. But there's a lot going on. There's the attack on the petrodollar right now. China is working with our own allies like Saudi Arabia, which Saudis ain't never been friends of America, I'm here to tell you. But they're supposed to be our allies. They're working with China to do, to destroy the petrodollar. China's going around the world building infrastructure and doing their thing, cutting deals with those people, that the third world nations and stuff like that. So, man, I was thinking about all that kind of craziness. We got Brother Mandrell in the house, man. What's good, fam?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, bro. How you feeling?
You and this, Saudi Arabia's trying to get rid of the petrodollar. They're the ones who started it. They're not trying to get rid of the petrodollar.
Why they couldn't deal? Why they couldn't side deals with the Chinese?
Petrodollar.
Why they couldn't side deals with the Chinese?
Money. Hey, that money's being just like everybody. But here's the thing: they have to buy it in what? U.S. dollars
for now. But what if China says to get this deal, to make this money, you got to buy it in? They could pick their currency. It might not be in yen, but they can pick. You got to buy it in some other than U.S. dollars.
Like what?
I don't know.
There's only two options aside from the U.S. dollar.
Bitcoin.
There's only two things that can compete. Well, they can't even compete with the U.S. dollar. There's nothing. They don't have enough strength backing them. That's the euro and the British pound.
They're gonna have to use. They're gonna have to use the Chinese control currency. So it'll be like
the U.S. dollar.
Well, no, it'll be their version of their version of the crypto dollar. Their version. There's the Chinese central bank digital currency. That's what they'll have to use. The Chinese.
Right. So you think the Saudis are dumb enough to take cryptocurrency, something that has absolutely no value. Nothing. It has no value. This whole crypto wave. I'm so glad I held out of this nonsense. Okay. No. You should have gotten in on Bitcoin like 8 to 12 years ago.
What backs the U.S. dollar, bro? What backs the Deutschmark? What backs the pound?
Oh, what backs the U.S. dollar? Credit, debt, and everyone's got more than enough of that, and it ain't going nowhere.
Right, but no one has any. That is my point. You know, my point is there's nothing backing the U.S. dollar other than that.
Of course there is.
And China holds how much of our debt?
Oh, not as much as you think. Not as much as you think. How much of their debt do we hold? How much of the Germany? Poor Germany. Since the UK had this bright idea to do a Brexit, everyone's like, I think it'd be a good idea. I'm like, dummy. No, it's not. And now they're feeling the effects of it. Okay? Poor Germany has all of Europe is sitting flat on Germany's backs. Okay? And they can't handle the weight. So guess what they got to do? Get into debt. Who do you go into debt with? Either the United Kingdom or Great Britain, which they hate. They don't want to do that. So guess who their next option is? Us.
China.
No. Us. No. China's too stupid. You don't want to do that. We do a deal with them. But us. See, there's a lot of things that go, the story behind behind everything. Yeah, the stuff that we don't see on the news, the stuff that we don't hear about in the news and all and in the media. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of things going on, man. Like, it's a completely different story. When you see what's really going on versus like we see the whole picture of what's really going on. Totally different story than what you see in the news. Totally different story. It's like, well, China owns so much debt, and why do you think America's like so? So why do you think? Look at the attitude of the country. Look at the attitude of our politicians and our country as a whole. So when you think of that deal, just look at the way we're responding to questions like that. We're like, damn.
But here's the thing, though. I don't have any faith in our politicians and the powers that be. Look at what Janet Yellen is doing. You know what I mean? Look at what Jerome Powell is doing. The average American politician has no idea what's going on in the financial sector.
Exactly. They don't, but some people do. Yeah, there are people who do. The people who make
George Gammon does. Peter Schiff does. You know what I mean? What's the guy that used to run? He's running Chase now. Jamie Dimler, whatever his name is. Jamie Dimon.
Chase. I got to pay off my credit card bill today.
Better make that happen.
Yeah, just gonna pay it off, man. I mean, so I don't like having debt. I don't, but I do use credit cards just to keep the account open.
Yeah, you get points.
Yeah, plus you get points and all this stuff. Yeah, so I mean, like, I don't charge anything that I don't already have the money for in the bank.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about your APR on your credit cards if you don't carry balances.
Right. If you carry a balance, that interest is going to kill you.
Oh, it's going to kill you, bro. Especially now.
Right. And let's say you got a balance of like $5,000 on the credit card. Let's say you ring up $4,000, right? And you're making minimum payments every month. You're never paying that off.
No, ever.
You're never paying that off. Ever. Like, literally, we're not exaggerating. Literally, you will not pay that off.
No, you can pay that off for 100 years and it won't.
Exactly. It's insane how that works. Like, you got to put more than that minimum down, Yeah, you want to be able to pay it at the end in full at the end of every month. That's what you really want to do. I understand people get into situations and stuff happens, but that begins the downfall. That's how you wind up in a situation like that poor lady getting that car at 19% interest because she crashed her other car and she's paying 6 or 7 interest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just read the story, man. For a car?
For a Subaru. It was like
a Subaru.
It was like $26,000 she had a credit score of 500 or something like that in the 500s. She had to get a car because her other car was crashed. Single mom, 2 kids, probably working a few jobs, and she's running from the repo man because she's falling behind on that car payment. So yeah, that was, we were talking about earlier. We were watching the George Gammon video. It's crazy, man. And they say the average car note in America right now is $1,000. $1,000.
I believe it. You see, like you see how the jobs are going away. Salaries haven't moved. In fact, salaries are going down. You know what I mean? And no one's hiring. And the people who have jobs are not making as much money as you did 5 years ago. And the price of trucks. So I was looking at cars. And I was looking at trucks. I was like, okay, do I really want to buy another pickup? So I look at them. I'm looking at the Silverado, right? I look at the regular 1500 Silverado. Then I look at the Trail Boss. I'm like, okay, it's like a $10,000 difference here. Why not just go for the Trail Boss? But then the price is still like $60,000. Between $54,000 and $60,000. And I'm just like, who's buying this? And then when I look on the road, all I see is Sierras. I see F-150s. You know,
You see the Nissans, the Titans. Are they called the Titans?
right? Yeah, to Titans. I see Armadas. I see the SUVs, trucks, and everything like that. I'm just like, okay, where are these people getting the money for this? You know. And then I looked at Audi, and we know how that is over there. Okay, we already know how it is over
Good
there.
solid
So
vehicle, but you're gonna pay.
you're gonna pay, and if there's a problem, I hope you've been saving your money up for that. And the maintenance fees or something else. Not as much as I thought it would be, though.
The maintenance isn't too terrible. It used to be crazy. Back in the 90s, it was crazy. You had to have warranty. Now, BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, who else? Like those the European car makers, Audi. It's not that bad. In fact, I would say that their hourly is on par with the U.S. manufacturers with these trucks and stuff like that. The thing is, you want to buy. I tell people all the time, like, look, if you're gonna finance a vehicle, you want to get as much warranty as you can. You want to have enough warranty to cover the life of that loan, because the last thing you need is that car to break down. Radiator goes out on. Let's say you got a BMW 7 Series or X5, and your radiator goes out. That's like $800. That's an $800 repair just in parts. I think it's like $800 in parts plus labor.
Yeah. And
So yeah,
now, like I said, you do have things out of they make you go in for maintenance. Like you have to take that car in for maintenance.
oh yeah.
Period.
Cycle A, cycle B.
Right. They're gonna, hey, such and such, Mr. Such and such, bring your car in. It's time for your maintenance. Bring it in. Well, I'm gonna wait for another. No waiting. Bring that car to us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to take it in for maintenance. Otherwise, like you'll lose. They'll penalize you by if you bring it in, they'll give you grace periods and stuff. But if you bring it in later than that, they'll make you pay for it. Like they'll fine you for it. You know what I'm saying? So you're paying for the maintenance. So anyway,
You want to maintain your vehicle. Like take it in there. You want to maintain those vehicles, but those things are machines. They're computers with wheels, bro. It's not like I'm just gonna change my own oil.
No, especially when you look at the model I was looking at, the A7.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a nice vehicle.
Yeah, you got to take a plate off. You got to take some other stuff off, and then get to the screw. I was like, they make it like that for a reason.
Yeah, because that plate covers the whole bottom of the car, and then you got to get that down. You got to drop that down, and then you need special tools, and you got to plug it into the computer. It's a lot you got. It's not just you ain't changing the oil in your Chevy. It ain't that no more. So Brother Doug is saying why people believe the US is so invincible. I think
because it is.
I think can't touch us.
Because it is. Because Doug, it would take a lot, and I mean a whole lot, to take us down. We are.
Yeah, it is, bro.
Yeah. Y'all don't have much confidence in our politicians, but the politicians are the people that we want you to see. We want you to see the Dog and Pony show. We want you to see the shit show. Dance for us, monkeys. Be entertained. Watch your politicians. Go vote. As if it's gonna matter. But go vote.
It matters on some things. It matters on something. Like Barack rise to prominence show that you can still do it. You can still do it, but it's real difficult. You can come from nowhere and get yourself into the White House.
You can't if you grease the right palms. Because Obama was broke when he first got elected. Obama had no money.
Nope.
People
it was all crowdfunding.
He was rich anyway. No, Obama was broke.
He was smart.
I mean,
crowdfunding.
Right. I mean, less than average broke. Yeah, like less than average broke. The Obamas had no money when they got, like you said, it was crowdfunded. That's how they got their money, because he was a community organizer, and he did a really good job of campaigning. Fantastic campaign he ran, and he got in. He shook hands. He made promises. He kept them. You know, that's why the needle didn't move too much when he got in.
He never would have took that Senate seat were it not for Blagojevich and all that corruption that was going on. He managed to slide in. He never would have done that. Once he did that, once he secured that Senate seat, they came to see him. He had to sit down with the puppet masters. They sat down. Was like, all right, bro, this is how it's gonna work.
like Kamala Harris. This is what you're gonna do.
This is what you're gonna do. This is how it's gonna work. We like it. We like what you did. Yeah, we think you can make a run at president. That's what they did.
It's not even that they like what you did anymore. It's how popular you are with the populace.
We can't
That's
stop
what
you.
it is. It's how popular you are. Okay, this person's trending really well in the polls. They're doing really well in the polls. Their approval rating is such. Let's make an introduction.
Let's make a deal. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Hey, is he willing to deal? Oh yeah, he's a smart guy. He's willing to deal, and that's what they did. And I love Obeezy. Don't get me wrong, that's my guy. But he ain't no idiot, and he ain't broke no more. So y'all see how it works. You know, me, brother Doug is laughing out there. Brother XFO is like, taxes, my G. Yeah, bro. Think about America. Brother Doug is like, so basically, I need to stop worrying. Yeah, you can stop worrying about somebody coming over here and taking over this country. You can stop worrying about that. But you know, you need to keep worrying about what's going on.
Never gonna happen.
That's never gonna happen. There's never gonna be a civil war either. They ain't gotta worry about that.
The thing is, people, no one's gonna come here and attack us. If you engage America, that means you have to engage America in ground warfare. You engage America in ground warfare, you're incredibly dumb. You signed a death warrant. That's it. You're not coming over here to invade shit. You're not. And all them hillbillies out here with the shit. Now, those are people I ain't got confidence in, DL. These wannabes, those people ain't got confidence in.
I ain't worried about them. When it gets time to go, we got a real enemy. Like I said, like if Atlantis surface out there in the middle of the Atlantic somewhere, and the Atlanteans attack, once the first rounds fly around, it'll be all right. But the thing is, and people, that's what I tell folks, like y'all see what's over my shoulder right here. There are like 125 guns for every 100 Americans.
Because I'm gonna go get that new SIG.
I know. Hey, somebody was asking me about SIG yesterday. I think it was.
Hey, listen, you should hit your boy up. I can help you out better. The
MC, I know
that MCX spear. I'm about to pick that up, man. I mean, look,
he crazy. Look at him smiling.
I'm excited. I am. I've already mapped out. Like,
I stick with my Glocks, man. I stick with my Glocks. Bro.
I've already mapped out what modifications I'm gonna make, attach to something to buy. Yeah.
Look, he modification iron sights. I be getting on Jay Swans about that, man. Jay Swans, here's a laser. I don't want all that, man. Here's a light. I don't want all that, bro. I'm basic, man. I'm basic, but
okay.
But no, all the top tier operators tell me, like, put a laser on it, bro. Like if we do it,
exactly. Exactly. I was gonna say that too. Yeah, I'm about to ask you. You don't use lasers? I'm
about to.
What's wrong with you?
I'm about to get some.
Get you a laser, mount it, sight it. If you get one that you can adjust the sights, take it to a range, sight it. Okay, and have it align with your just align the sights with your iron sights. Align the laser with your iron sights. You know what I'm saying? When you make your adjustments, boom. You know what I'm saying? And that way it's just it's so easy. You're never gonna go back. By the way,
yeah, it's like having the cameras in the backup within your car. When I'm like, man, this is stupid. Who wants this now? I can't imagine driving without it. This is the best thing since sliced bread.
Really?
Man, I gotta have that camera, bro. I'm perfectly lined up and everything. I love them cameras now.
See, you sound like me with a lot of stuff. Like I had a Silverado, but it got hit while in the parking lot, all by itself. Like it's in a situation where there's literally nothing else in that parking lot to hit except my truck.
You better leave them 304s alone.
No, it was an older Asian lady. It was the most it was the most racially stereotypical thing I've ever seen, right? You know how they always say, well, Asian women can't drive. And they say Asian women, they speak they don't speak the English, the broken accent and all that stuff. Every single one of them, DL, this woman had at one time. And I couldn't even be mad. I was like,
that's what we pay insurance for. There you go, Mama Son. Thank
I was
you.
just like, yeah, right, Mama Son. It was the whole thing. It was all of it. She was all of it wrapped up into one. I couldn't even, I just said to my mouth up. I was like, oh my God, no one's going to believe this happened. No one is going to believe she exists.
I do.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and she tore it up too. Big old 1500, Silverado 1500. That's the only thing out there. She tore it up. And, the whole driver's side, the insurance company told it out. I said, okay, cool. Now, what do I want to buy? I saw nothing on the road I wanted to borrow, that I wanted to buy. So I went to my mama's house. I said, Mom, let me use Shamaria's car.
Oh, did you tell
she was like, aren't you going to buy one? I said, yeah, I just don't see anything I don't like. She's like, just go buy a car, man. Yeah, I just don't see anything in it. Until I make up my mind, let me just borrow hers. All right. And so I've been driving that little thing ever since.
You tell Shushu she should be charging you. She should be. And Shushu, if you're watching,
She knows though. She knows.
Oh, that's crazy. She's like, you driving my car, man?
Yeah.
Oh, get the oil change. But
Yeah,
it
because
doesn't
you
make any sense. I
because
mean, it just
car note-
especially. Oh, go ahead.
a car note, people, is a waste of money. A car note
Especially if
is
you're
a
paying
waste
on
of
something you
money.
really don't want. Like you gotta want that vehicle. And then you know the vehicle I drive, I love driving it. I love it. It doesn't matter. But you know, if you're driving something that you driving because that's all you could get, you're gonna hate that vehicle. You're gonna hate the way the windows roll up and down. You're gonna hate the way, you know what I mean, the seat feels. You're gonna hate all that. Brother Doug, let me see. Brother XFO, Americans have guns and defense systems. Look, bro, America's a whole nother kind of thing, man. You come over here, bro. You gotta be careful.
Yeah,
Their pockets, man.
Yeah, there are pockets of America where if we are invaded and enemy comes in there, they're gonna give them hell.
Yeah, they're gonna get
Yeah,
told up.
there are some pockets of America. Yes, the American everyday citizens, they're gonna give them hell. And but most of the people who carry firearms and talk all that, America, and you know, NASCAR.
Yeah,
I ain't worried about y'all. Y'all ain't finna do nothing. At the first, they'll be the first to run in there, DL.
first to run out.
But what I know for a fact is once the dying starts, the shooting, they'll be all right. They'll hang in there with the shooting. But once the dying starts, that little psycho family they got there, they gotta.
You see those holes? You see those people start exploding, bro? I'm telling you, we'll have a whole bunch of ARs.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Once the dying starts, it's a different story then.
You know what I mean? You see them coming out, only fire once, bro. Here you go. Like, I don't need this no more. But Brother Doug is saying, no need to evade when you can pull the plug from the inside. Good point. Destroying the country, not by conventional warfare, hack pipelines, chemical poison the Mississippi, destroy the food supply. Yeah, let's not give them ideas. But yeah, there's like, you see what was going on with all these train derailments. There's a lot of that going up there, man. Yeah, Americans we will tear this place up. Like we don't need no outside help. I can't wait. I mean, I can wait until tomorrow when I continue my debate with my military friends. Oh, it was like I can't wait till tomorrow. Yeah, we'll bring this up again tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because we're running out of time here. We'll definitely talk about this some more tomorrow.
Some of this fun stuff, man. Because
yeah.
Also, after the show, I wanted to ask you something because like earlier today, I literally just created a YouTube channel.
I was on, bro. Yeah.
I got questions.
I got answers.
Okay.
I got answers. So absolutely, bro. So we're gonna wrap this up. Brother Mandriel, what's up for tonight, man?
What's tonight? Thursday?
Yeah. Was your show last night?
Yeah, it was supposed to be. We went. I don't think she did anything last week. This week.
Okay.
I might be back next week.
All right.
But that's up in the air too. Don't fret, people. We are coming back. I just need to time to do some stuff. Like tonight, I got a meeting with my team because they're in Australia. So I mean,
time difference. Man.
Yeah, time difference. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. I had to deal with people in other countries, and the time differences. It's like, okay, this is too much. I need to get some sleep. I need to focus on one of them right now because it's like, yo, it's a lot. Anyway, sorry, DL. But yeah, good show today, man. Real talk, good show as usual.
Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, we need information like and content like the content you're producing. I only hope that I can do. I hope that when I start mine, I can do okay.
Yeah, you'll do fine, bro. You'll do just fine because I'll be over there harassing you just like you over here harassing me. Right. So, and tomorrow we're gonna be here, guys. We're gonna be right back here tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Downrange Podcast. We're gonna be naming names. Who has the right stuff? Who should be running for the 2024 presidential bid? We got some names already. Joe Mnuchin. We got Rand Paul, Brian Kemp, Liz Cheney, Andrew Yang, and then one of the Kennedys. Brother Doug and I got to figure out which Kennedy it is. It's not the crazy one from the South. So, and then guys, if you have any names you want to add to that list, feel free to drop them in the comments. Let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. You can tell me on Instagram if you want to do that. There's my Instagram scrolling below. This was fun, brother Mandrew. I'm glad you popped in here, bro. My favorite Green Beret, man. I'm glad you came up in this joint.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, and let's see, brother XFO, great pod. Thanks. You guys, hey man, you're welcome. Thanks y'all for thanks to y'all for rocking with me. We're gonna keep this going. Like I said, tomorrow, be there or be square, y'all. We're gonna talk about who should run for the presidency of the United States, who has the right stuff. None of these stupid, silly people, like real folks. America needs a leader right now. If we don't get the right leader, we might be in trouble, man. So we are out of here. Thanks for rocking with us, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm DL Saint. This is the Downrange Podcast, and I'll holler at y'all later. That's Mandrill, by the way. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.